watching TAG TV.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Surbhi Sharma. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 19th of December. Foreign ministers of India, South Korea meet in New Delhi to boost ties. Protest erupts in Pakistan-administered Kashmir to oppose Neelam Jhelum power project. An Afghan senator urged inclusive, globally recognized peace process. And now for all the details. Foreign ministers of India and South Korea co-chaired the 9th India-Korea Joint Commission meeting in New Delhi on Wednesday. During the talks, both the sides agreed to strengthen cooperation in energy, defense, maritime and trade and investment, among other areas of mutual interest.
South Korean Foreign Minister Kang Kyung-hwa on Wednesday met her Indian counterpart Sushma Swaraj in New Delhi to boost strategic ties between the two countries. Both the leaders discussed a range of issues including cooperation in economy, trade and investment, energy, defense, maritime, space and culture during the 9th Indo-Korea Joint Commission meeting. Both the sides also agreed to redouble efforts to realize common vision of raising the quantum of bilateral trade to $50 billion by the year 2030.
Minister Swaraj and I shared views on the situation on the Korean Peninsula and agreed to work closely together and to consult closely for the complete denuclearization of North Korea, as well as establishing permanent peace on the Korean Peninsula. Minister Swaraj welcomed my government's efforts in this regard and expressed continued support.
We agreed on the importance of a free, open, peaceful and rules-based order as being essential for achieving our common goal of peace, stability and prosperity in our shared region and beyond.
Relations between India and South Korea have made great strides in recent years due to significant convergence of interests and high-level exchanges. India has consistently supported the reunification of the Korean Peninsula, which has been well received by South Korea.
Hamid Ansari, the Indian national who returned from Pakistan after spending 6 years in prison, met India's Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj in New Delhi on Wednesday. 33-year-old Ansari was arrested in 2012 after he allegedly entered northwest Pakistan to meet and help a woman he befriended on Facebook.
Indian national Hamid Ansari, who recently returned after spending 6 years in a Pakistani prison, met Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj along with his family in New Delhi on Wednesday. 33-year-old Ansari was arrested by Pakistani intelligence agencies in 2012 after he allegedly entered northwest Pakistan to meet and help a woman he befriended on Facebook. He was tried by a military court and given a 3-year sentence in 2015 for possessing a fake Pakistani identity card.
ये एक फॉर्मल मीटिंग थी। बहरहाल चूँकि हमारा बच्चा आया, हम बहुत खुश हैं, तो हम चाहते थे कि हमारी खुशी जो है, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया हमारे साथ हमेशा आभारी हैं, हम गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के, हमेशा गवर्नमेंट हमारे साथ रही। तो ये एक फॉर्मल मीटिंग थी कि अब बच्चा आया है तो एक मीटिंग मैडम के साथ हुई, तो हमने शुक्रिया के लिए हमने आज मौका लिया।
Hamid Ansari, after receiving hugs from his parents at the Atari Wagah border in India's northern Amritsar city, knelt down and prayed after he stepped into the Indian soil on Tuesday. His jail term had ended on December 15th.
In news from Pakistan, the British Airways on Tuesday announced that it would resume flights to Pakistan next year after a decade-long absence following a bomb attack that killed more than 50 people at a hotel in Islamabad. The airlines would be the first Western carrier to restart flying to Pakistan since its pullout in 2008.
British Airways on Tuesday announced that it would resume flights to Pakistan next year after a 10-year absence following a bomb attack that killed more than 50 people at a hotel in the capital city, Islamabad. The airlines would begin the London Heathrow-Islamabad service on June 15, with 3 weekly flights by the airline's newest long-haul aircraft, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. The British Airways would be the first Western carrier to restart flying to Pakistan since its pullout in 2008.
I'm here to announce to you that it's my pleasure that after more than 10 years, British Airways is to return to Pakistan with a new route between Islamabad and London Heathrow, flying from June next year.
It's going to be good for further investment, good for further trade, and good for more tourists coming out here. And when it gets around the world, known that British Airways has put their stamp on Pakistan, I'm sure it will put us 1 or 2 notches up as a country to do business with.
The airlines had pulled out services in the country in the aftermath of the bomb blast at Marriott Hotel in Islamabad, which killed 54 people, including 6 British citizens in September 2008. At present, only loss-making national carrier Pakistan International Airlines flies directly from Pakistan to Britain, but its aging fleet of planes is frequently a source of complaint by the passengers.
Moving on, anger against the local government and Islamabad over the Neelam Jhelum hydropower plant project has snowballed into a simmering outrage in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Anti-Pakistan protests have recently intensified in the illegally occupied region over the project, which is deeply affecting the lives of locals.
Residents recently took to the streets in Muzaffarabad city of Pakistan-administered Kashmir against Pakistan's indiscriminate and unabated construction of dams and hydropower projects in the illegally occupied region. They shouted slogans against Islamabad demanding the immediate termination of the projects that are underway on the Neelam Jhelum River and also urged authorities to refrain from sanctioning any further projects. The protesters blamed Pakistan has been recklessly exploiting natural resources in the illegally occupied region in the name of so-called developmental projects. The Neelam Jhelum power project, which was built in the pretext of bringing prosperity, has deeply affected the lives of the common people, with many of them forced to migrate to other places in the country. The people are deprived of even drinking water as River Neelam is drying up due to the construction of the hydropower plant project. Locals blame they are not just denied basic rights, but are forced to lead their lives on terms dictated by Islamabad's political puppets in the region.
In news from Afghanistan, senators in Afghanistan's upper house of parliament on Tuesday said that all the countries involved in the Afghanistan situation, especially its neighbors and all the factions of the Taliban, should be the part of the peace process to help end the 17-year-old conflict in the country.
Senators in Afghanistan's upper house of parliament on Tuesday said that all the countries, especially its neighbors and entire factions of the Taliban, should be part of the peace process to help end the 17-year-long conflict in the war-ravaged country. The senators stressed that the details of the peace talks must be shared with the Afghan people and that the nation's red lines must be crossed for the peace negotiations with the Taliban. This comes as representatives of Taliban, US, UAE, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia are holding discussions on Afghan peace in Abu Dhabi.
کچېرې خدای وکولای چې د طالبانو او د دولت په مابین کې سوله راله امن راله خدای نه کړه داسې نشي د هغو افراد بیا هغې ډلې ته ولاړ شي د هغو سره یو شي او بیا په افغانستان کې دغه بې امنیتي و جنگ دوامداره شي
بان که یک دفعه همو دوستای که اوجا کار میکنه از آدرس حکومت ما و شما او برن بیاین که نظریات پاکستان، نظریات امریکا، نظریات طالب امرای خود بیارن.
Meanwhile, the Afghan government has expressed hope that the face-to-face talks will be held with the Taliban in the near future. If the Taliban accepts to sit with the Afghan government, This will mark the first direct talks between the two sides to end the ongoing conflict in the country.
Nepal's Foreign Minister Pradeep Gayawali on Tuesday met US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo at the US State Department in Washington. Both the leaders discussed the overall state of bilateral relations and cooperation between Nepal and the US during the meeting.
Nepal's Foreign Minister Pradeep Gayawali met US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo at the US Department of State in Washington on Tuesday. The two leaders during the meeting discussed the overall state of bilateral relations and cooperation between Nepal and the US. Both the sides further agreed to widen and deepen 7 decades-long partnership to take their relation to the next level, a statement issued by Nepal's Foreign Ministry stated. The ministry added a Nepal-US political consultation was held at the State Department prior to the ministerial meeting. Gayawali arrived in Washington on Monday leading a Nepali delegation to participate in the bilateral meeting. The Nepali leader is also scheduled to hold meetings with senior officials from Office of the Secretary of Defense and National Security Council during his visit.
Indian Space Research Organisation on Wednesday successfully launched a communications satellite into space from the country's spaceport, Sriharikota. The communications satellite GSAT-7A, with a lifespan of around 8 years, will give communication capability in Ku band, a microwave frequency band over the Indian region.
Indian Space Research Organisation or ISRO successfully launched a communication satellite into space from Satish Dhawan Space Centre in the country's spaceport, Sriharikota, on Wednesday. The communication satellite GSAT-7A, with a lifespan of around 8 years, was carried by launch vehicle GSLV F-11 and is the 35th communication satellite, being part of the third mission in just over a month by the space agency. The satellite's key feature is that it will give communication capability in Ku band, a microwave frequency band over the Indian region. ISRO had already launched GSAT-11, the heaviest communication satellite launched from French Guiana on the December 5th.
Enthusiastic skaters have started thronging a famous open rink in India's hill town of Shimla to enjoy ice skating during winters. Set up in 1920, it is one of the 3 natural ice skating rinks in the world.
Scores of enthusiasts are enjoying ice skating in India's northern Himachal Pradesh province as the famous open rink in its hill town of Shimla has opened its doors. Skaters, mostly children, decked with their skates, are thronging the rink with much excitement as it is one of the major attractions among the tourists every winter. The open rink in Shimla is one of the 3 natural ice skating rinks in the world set up in 1920.
यहाँ पे मुझे पता लगा यहाँ पे ओपन आइस स्केटिंग होती है। अपने साथ में अपने बच्चों को भी लेके आया था, बट अभी थोड़े डरे हुए हैं तो उन्होंने नहीं किया। मैं स्केटिंग फर्स्ट टाइम यहाँ पे कर रहा हूँ। बढ़िया एक्सपीरियंस है, बढ़िया लोग हैं, बढ़िया एटमॉस्फेयर है बस। क्या हम
So basically I started skating at the age of 4 because my father used to skate, and since then I've been skating, and every winter vacation I used to stay back in Shimla till January so that I could skate.
The open skating rink in Shimla, also dubbed Queen of Hills, was brainchild of an Irish military official, Blessington, who lived in the town during the British rule. Every year, an ice skating tournament is also organized to popularize the sport at the rink, especially among youth.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on southasianewsline.com. You can also visit us on facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. It's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.